Good morning and welcome to the second episode of the Midwestern Conservative. Today we're going to be on a topic that is going to upset some people, but a lot of people are going to agree with if you have my point of view, or similar. We're going to get on government overreach. Government overreach and impugning our rights under the Constitution and our Bill of Rights has been very common these past couple decades. The government will go from gun laws to other laws that they're wanting, their pet projects. We have governors in California like Governor Gavin Newsom. This moron wants to give illegal immigrants money because they lost wages because of the coronavirus. Wait a minute. They're in the country illegally. Why are we giving our tax dollars to them? Because they didn't send money back to Mexico? Who cares? I'm sorry if their home countries' governments are propped up by our tax dollars and our wages that they're stealing. They shouldn't get anything. They should go home. They made their country a shithole. Leave our country alone. I'm trying not to cuss, but this is a very touchy subject on that. And they have trillions of dollars in unfunded pensions. They want conservative states to bail out. Illinois, New York, and California want the United States federal government to give your tax dollars to them to help with these funds that they promised and couldn't keep. So basically fulfilling their campaign promises of, well, if you're going to retire, we're going to give you a better pension so you don't go looking elsewhere. Well, yeah, people need to earn a retirement, don't get me wrong. But the state should not promise an 8 to 10% rate of return. That's unheard of. I don't care how good your stocks are doing. You're not going to get an 8 or 10% return every year, year over year. You get $80,000 just because, oh, well, they said I could. Well, that's nice. So while this guy's getting $80,000 a year pension, retiring at 50, 45, depending, you've got other people that are breaking their backs that might make $40,000 a year, but they're retiring with their own retirement, their 401k plans and all their other plans. Okay, well, that's more honest labor. That's not we'll pay you not to work. New York had a big problem with that with their teachers. Hopefully they got it fixed. I haven't heard anything about it in a year or two. It's where they used to pay teachers over $100,000 a year to sit in a classroom and not teach. Basically like teacher detention. And they would sit there in year after year, hundreds of thousands of dollars per teacher not teaching. That's not how you run a business. And last time I checked, the state government was more like a business than it was because they have employees. So, yeah, that's not how they do that. You look at Governor Whitmer in Michigan. This idiot decides that you can't buy seeds because, you can't buy paint, you can't buy wood to do home repairs, but you're on lockdown. You can't leave your house. You can't get anything except for non-essential. So whatever she deems essential stays around. So if you look at what she deemed essential, which was marijuana, liquor stores, lotto tickets, mind you, all stuff that are taxed a large amount by the state, that's essential. Because she draws a paycheck. She doesn't lose any money, no matter what. Well, what gives her the right to deem what's essential and what's not essential? Maybe somebody's growing their garden because, well, they don't like all the fertilizers and stuff or whatever you read about that's on your vegetables. They want to have organic. Isn't that their right? What if you want to fix up your house? Maybe you want to sell it or you just want a nicer place to live. That would be their right. But she deemed it non-essential. Feeding your family is not essential. Giving her money is essential. Her having the power as being a mini tyrant. Speaking of tyrants, you got Cuomo in New York, the great governor. Goes on his brother's talk show on CNN, which is, real news right there. And he'll sit there and say this, that, and the other, and how great of a job he's doing, and the media's just fawning over this moron. This guy and New Jersey governor, I can't think of his name, both issued orders that people with coronavirus that were elderly were to go back to their hospice or their retirement home or whatever that aren't prepared for coronavirus with a bunch of other people that had weakened immune systems because they didn't want to take care of them. They had the Javits Center. They had the comfort. They could have taken care of them. Instead, almost half of our deaths over this coronavirus has come from New York and New Jersey in their little bubble of, and half of their deaths came from, or over half, came from the nursing homes. Gee, I wonder why. That's right. Their base, they want the older generation to die off. It almost seems that way. Because the older generation knows that communism and socialism just don't work. But they want to be their own mini tyrant. Now, if they want to be their own mini tyrant, let them go to another country. Don't be saying, hey, the government's got to give us money because we lost tax dollars. Okay, the rest of the country is opening up. Slowly but surely. It could have been faster. I mean, here in Iowa, Kim Reynolds, iffy job, whatever. But at least she's opening up. We never totally shut down. People that are sitting there going, well, I'm scared. Well, that's great. You know, you go for an N95 mask. It protects, I believe, 0.3 microns. The virus is 0.15. How in the world can you say a mask that lets through 0.3 microns is going to protect you from a virus that's 0.15 microns? It's two viruses right there. Don't make much sense. It's like these businesses. You must wear a mask to come in. No, I just won't shop there. You lost my business. I don't believe impugning people's rights. If you impugn people's rights, that gets people to where they're going, wait a minute here. And having the federal government bail out your state because you couldn't run it right? No. Your state was billions or trillions of dollars in debt before. It's not up to the federal government to bail you out. It's up to you to figure out how you're going to balance your budget. First way, you might want to fix your union contracts. No offense to the union. I was a union member once. Didn't have the best of experience at it. Lost many jobs because of how much it cost to hire a union. So if you're going to sit there and go, well, I did this and I did that, this is how it's got to be. That's not how it's got to be. The way it is, we are in this together, but we're not in this together. I'm going to protect my own rights, and if I see somebody impugning somebody else's rights, I might say something. Because it's up to us to remember we're the ones whose rights are being impugned, not the other way around. Nobody's telling Whitmer or Cuomo or Newsom or in Seattle, Washington, I want to give $100 million to illegal immigrants because they lost money. Another one, I can't think of their name. They're just mini tyrants. There's a lot of them out there. All you got to do is look up any liberal state and you're going to have a mini tyrant in charge. And these people are so much like sheep, they flock to them. It's their same thing, no matter what. These people are going to sit there and say, oh, this person's bad because they voted for this, or they voted for this president, they voted for that president. No. Just because I voted for President Trump doesn't mean I like all of his views. No. I like the job he's doing, yes. A lot better than Obama. Obama, there was a natural-born loser. And I could go a whole 30 hours just on how treacherous and treasonous he was. I mean, come on, the final days of your administration, I'm going to investigate a lieutenant general from the United States Army with over 33 years experience because he contacted his counterpart in a foreign country because he was getting a relationship. Well, gee, what was Obama doing when he gave, what was it, $150 billion to Iran? Oh, please, here's $150 billion, don't hurt us. Screw that. Trump took out his guy and the friggin' House started... Nancy Pelosi flipped out and started investigating him and started his phony impeachment crud with everything. There's been no proof. I mean, come on. If he did it, he did it, you know. But if without proof, you're just saying you did it, you're guilty. No, that's not how American justice works. And a lot of these people are going to sit there and tell you, well, you're just spewing party lines. No, I'm not. I have watched MSNBC, CNN, Fox News. I've read the Vox. I've read, even on Facebook. Of course, they'll censor you unless you're a liberal on Facebook. And YouTube. So I wouldn't be surprised that pretty soon this site don't get taken down. That's how this government's working. Actually, it's not the government. Google, well, yeah, we know how Google is. Facebook, well, yeah, you have Mark Zuckerberg. Of course, he's got to... they're going to sanitize everything because it upsets somebody. I'm sorry. Put on your big boy pants and do something about it. Don't say, oh, you hurt my feelings, I had to go to my safe space. We don't need safe spaces. It's called the real world. When I was a kid, I scratched myself up on my bicycle, broke my ankle, broke my arm. I didn't say, oh no, I need to be wrapped in bubble wrap. No, my family let me go out and have fun again. It happens. A lot of those memories are the best memories I had. Some of them not so good, but life happens. If people don't stop living like they're sheep and going to follow the leader, we're going to have a big problem. We could go into, well, the Republicans are racist and all that. Did you know? I can't think of the name of the person. I swear it was said in the 1960s when the Jim Crow laws got struck down in the South. They said, the Democrats said, well, if they got to vote, they're going to vote for us. Well, that's kind of strange. The Republican Party, who was the first Republican president? Oh, yeah. That'd be Abraham Lincoln, our 16th president. The ones that created the Ku Klux Klan were, Democrats. That's right. Your liberal party actually is not so great. Everybody thinks, oh, well, they've done everything for the best of the country. No, they're not. If you want to do what's right for the country, is let people be free. Let them work. Let them do their thing. Don't be a mini tyrant like Gretchen Whitmer. That lady, I don't know how Michigan elected her, and then they elect Debbie Dingell, who I saw in an interview last night, saying, well, the federal government needs to bail us out. We have no tax base. Well, you locked everybody down. You're being a tyrant. You're not going to have a tax base. Another person that got their job because her late husband was a very progressive Democrat, and Debbie Dingell won this special election. Gee, go figure how she won that. You got Nancy Pelosi. She has San Francisco's in her district. Now, tell me. You say, oh, everybody's this, everybody's that. No. Here's the thing. If you go to San Francisco, you're going to see people defecating on the street, urinating on the street. They do drugs on the street. And when coronavirus happened, L.A. and Eric Garcetti's a real winner there. There will never be a new normal. And in San Francisco, they put them in hotels and had marijuana delivered to them, had other drugs delivered to them, alcohol delivered to them, cigarettes delivered to them. Let's give them their vices because we locked them up. Whoa. There's a tax base here that's got to pay for all this. It's not free, people. Your taxes should not be going to pay for illegals. Should not be going to pay for drugs for homeless. How about you take care of your homeless vets, your homeless people? If your homeless people are schizophrenic or whatever their mental condition may be, or if they hit hard times, instead of giving them a handout, give them a helping hand. Don't just say, here's some cash, now just go live on the street and do that. You can't do that. You gotta, instead of, give them a hand up. Maybe open up centers to either treat their medical conditions and put them into Social Security disability or whatever it need be on that. And if they just need a job, what about vocational training? Give them vocational training and teach them a new skill, one that might be useful. Like if let's say they were a carpenter, which, very nice trade to have. If they lost their job, so they lost their home. Well, why not teach them to be a bricklayer, or if they want to stay in the trades, or help them find a better job, or find a new job. It may be carrying buckets of dirt, being a donkey on the job site, been there, done that many times. Or carrying shingles up a ladder. There ain't nothing wrong with that kind of work. There is nothing wrong with good old-fashioned hard work. I know I did a lot of years before I went to college. And I'll tell you what, there's days I miss it. Because a lot of times, you don't know what you have until you can't do it anymore. Now, I would normally say I'm a young man. I'm young enough to go out and do it again. I got in a work accident and lost my hand. So no, that kind of does a lot of things, especially when it's your dominant hand. You got to relearn how to do things. Now, when you get people that will sit there and say, well, you should just sit around and file disability and all that. No, I want to work. I mean, right now I've got a lot of doctor's appointments and all that, so I'm on my workman's comp insurance. It's not a handout. It's just helping me get by until I get my stuff taken care of. There's a lot of people, I don't have to work anymore, I lost my hand, or something like that. People don't want that. Very few people who get hurt actually want to just sit around on their butts. I mean, even if I sue and win a lawsuit, doesn't mean I'm going to sit at home and just collect money. No. Why don't you help the community do something? Learn another vocation. Just figure out life isn't going to be handed to you. This younger generation, they don't know that. They feel that they don't care, they want a handout, which isn't the way America works. America is not a place for handouts. The tired, free, and huddled masses says that on the Statue of Liberty, which technically was supposed to go to Egypt. We won't go there. That's history. And read it, you'll find that out. But the thing is, those immigrants that came over, and in Ellis Island and all that, they didn't want handouts. They wanted to work, and they wanted to create themselves. They wanted to be in a society that was fair, balanced. There's people that could be dirt poor, barely scraping by, selling encyclopedias out of the trunk of their car. Somebody was doing that once. Yeah. Paul Mitchell. Never heard of him? That's right. Or people that are sitting there, they want to be an actor or something like that. Okay, well, if that's what you want to be, well, entertainment's entertainment. Or you could be somebody that's working on a job, doing props and stuff and talking to an old cowboy in the 1920s. And all of a sudden get your break by learning to do what the old cowboy said. The old cowboy was Wyatt Earp. The stagehand, Marion Mitchell Morrison. No clue who that is? Well, you might know him as John Wayne, the Duke. There you go. It doesn't matter how you were brought up. If you were born in Iowa, California, Texas, Florida, if you have the determination and the dream, in this country you can do it. As long as you don't let people impede your rights. That's where being a conservative comes in. Protecting your rights, conserving it. If you conserve your rights, they can't stop you. They're going to have high taxes because California's like 50% tax if you get over a certain amount. It That's because they don't manage the money. They think people are going to just keep giving them money, throwing money away, throwing money away, throwing money away. No, actually, there's been an exodus from California and New York to the lower taxing states of Florida, Texas, wherever, because they're not being taxed as much. And taxes, well, up until the early 1900s, you didn't have all these taxes. Now you do. But taxes is another story. Hopefully, people understand that they shouldn't let these mini tyrant governors and mayors and congressmen and women try to rule them, because they don't have the power themselves. The people are the ones that elect. The people have the power in this country. And once people start forgetting that, that's when you start getting places like Cuba. You start getting places like Russia, USSR. You start getting places that are like China. Americans need to wake up. Americans need to learn. I'm a Midwestern conservative, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Have a good day.